like a backpack, running away from home.
Kids who are experiencing domestic violence at home.
Girl or boy who probably is somewhat alone and their friends don't notice the way they're feeling.
I think it's sad. I think of a teen that doesn't have support at home, and I just think of someone that's in need of someone to reach out to them and support them in some way.
I would say has, first of all, probably not the best home life. You know, there's obviously something wrong at home that they have to run away from.
It's a sad life.
And some sort of abuse, like poverty, which I think it's quite sad. I know there's quite a few, or many here in Chicago, in homeless shelters, etc.
For whatever reason, feel that they can't be in their current lifestyle and location, and leave, start something new.
I think of some of my friends who I've met downtown Chicago who ran away from home because they were gay or lesbian and their parents weren't accepting. And I met them at the center in Halstead.
Not liking the environment they're in, whether it be abusive or not for them, or to, feeling like the people around them don't care for them. I think someone run away for any reason.
Familial reasons, I think, is probably the most prevalent. I would assume that conflict with family would be the biggest reason, because most other things I think you could work out.
I think probably abuse, or maybe their homes just isn't satisfying for them. Maybe neglect, or they're just not happy with the way that they're living with their parents or whoever they're living with.
Gang-related issues, social issues.
I feel like it's something that like everyone thinks about at least like once or twice, almost in that little kid way, like, oh, like I'm pissed at my mom, like I'll run away, like that'll show her. But like, I think people that actually go through with it, they feel unsafe or unwanted where they are. They feel like they would do better, or at least not worse somewhere else, and that they really probably don't have much of a choice.
It happens all the time. I know some students of mine right now, currently, that are dealing with a lot of stress at home. Yeah, it happens often.
I think I help kids every day, to be honest with you. I do much more here than be a Spanish teacher. I think that's maybe 1/8 of the things I do. I have a lot of kids who come to me and talk to me about problems, anything from wanting to run away to cutting themselves to suicide, etc. And certainly I'm not an expert, but I definitely point them in the right direction to social workers, to school psychologists. I definitely tell them where they can go to get the help that they need. So I feel that kids feel they can come to me and talk to me, and then I put them in, tell them where to go to get the real help, because I'm not certified in that area.
I feel pretty strongly about that. I feel sad because I used to have a student who was not necessarily a runaway but homeless, but he had run away for some time. He had a hard time of it. It was hard for him because he didn't have a family to go to. His mom was on drugs, brother was in jail, but both of them wanted money. So other kids who ran away usually came home because they realized how hard it was. So it's something I make sure I keep an eye out for my students when they go missing. As an adult and as a teacher, I try to be that teacher or adult that kids can come to if they're in trouble. I want to be that teacher that no one had before, or at least that teacher that they know is going to listen. I don't have to understand. I do have to know that there's a problem, so that I can give some help. It doesn't matter what it is that they did that got them in that situation in the first place. What counts is that that person came to me and needs help now, and we'll fix all the other stuff later.
I can try to counsel them and support them in any way possible, because everyone is going through something. I was homeless at one point because my mom kicked me out of the house and I didn't have anywhere to go. And without the support of counselors and teachers, I don't believe I would be here today. So I would talk to the student and support him or her in any way possible. And I would also refer him or her to counseling, because sometimes people just need someone to talk to. They need to know that someone cares.
I had a lot of kids who are all they got pregnant and didn't mean to. Parents were beating them. I had a student who was a pathological liar and said her father beat her, and we got DCFS involved and he didn't even touch her. She just wanted attention. The kid I told you about who was homeless for 2 years and with the family that he often walked away from and stayed at friends' houses. I had a kid who was molested on the bus and had to come to school and didn't know what to do with herself. I mean, I know all these things because they did feel confident that they could come to me, and I would at least sit there and listen and let them be there, you know, and let them just be themselves. They didn't have to be strong around me. I told them that. And just to give a kid permission to be weak and to feel all the stuff that's really bothering them can often be that key to making sure they don't run away.
I would probably head to Florida or California because it's warm there, and I would walk or take a bus, and I would do some very easy jobs to get money and try and live my life as normal as possible.
I think by virtue of the fact that I've had a good home and like a good upbringing, that I would actually survive pretty well if I decided to run away. Just because I do think I talk to people, know how to find my way places, know how to get resources when I need them, no matter what. So I think I'd be alright. I mean, it would be really hard though. It's not going to be just alright for anybody, but I think I'd survive.
You get in a lot of situations you probably won't want to get in.
Try to survive any way I can, maybe find some people I can live with maybe, or try to find at least a shelter. I guess it depends on what your knowledge would be, like what resources you have in your community. I guess that's really important to run away. It's probably knowing what's around you or what's around your community, or how far you can get, a place that you can stay, and probably like how much money you have. I think it really all depends.
Probably first turn to my friends, or I don't know. It's just it's a lifestyle that like it's a vicious circle. From what I know, it's something that just keeps getting worse. It's really hard to get out of. I mean, you are very dependent. You become very dependent on a lot of people. I don't really know what I would do. I'd probably not end up so right.
I think it'd be difficult. I know of some services downtown because I have friends who are in that situation, so I know of places I could eat, places I could stay. But I think it'd be really hard, and I don't think that I would be able to handle it for that long.
I guess just the people around you. It's just, I mean, when you run away, presumably you don't have much, so you need food, shelter, and you figure out how to get that, whether it's going to a warm climate so you can sleep outside, or maybe like getting to know people, seeing if you can like get money or a job. So I guess it's just like figuring out like how to like navigate through the world on the streets.
Try and find a job maybe? I'm not really sure.